Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to CAV HQ, live with CAV Boss. Hope everybody is doing well on a Wednesday night. I am still having camera problems, so I'm limited to one camera. So hopefully that will be fixed by next show. We ordered in some new parts that will be here Friday. So I am here to talk. I am working on my drop ship and getting ready for AdeptiCon next week. Looking forward to that. So I hope everybody is doing well. So I'm just going to kind of work on this here tonight, and I'm here to chat or answer questions, or I'll show a little bit. Right now I'm just kind of painting all these little inlets, I guess, around the motor, around the engine. It's just not a convention if you can't work on stuff till the very end. That's why I look at it anyway. But got all kinds of shows coming up. Basically a show a month through November. Crazy. Crazy, 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 he says. What else is everybody working on? I'm just glad. I'm hoping there's no more cold weather. I'm ready for spring. I think we've dodged the bullet here, but I say that one year the biggest snowstorm we had in a long time was the first week of April. But that was a long time ago. Hopefully we won't have a repeat of that. I am not a winter guy. I'm about as far north as I can stand it. And I'm still not pretty wild. Usually we don't have very much snow and ice, but this year it's making up for it. It is. He's being awfully quiet. Once I get these done, the rest of it's pretty smooth sailing. These are hard to get to, and there's so many of them. Who designed this? Needs to be shot. I'd love to just go to a convention again, just to go, hang out and play games. I miss that. first rule of being in a game company is you never get to play games anymore. No, we kept messing with trying to get all our cameras and stuff back working right, and it just ended up I had to order in a new PC to make it do the way we needed it to do. It just wasn't working with what we had. So we got that all done, and I tried to buy one here locally, but either everybody wanted too much money for a piece of junk, or they just didn't have what we needed. I went to one store, no names mentioned, but here, and they wanted to sell me a computer that was outdated about a year ago, 2 years ago, for almost $2,000. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me, guys. I said, knowing what people can order it for, I can't believe you're even doing this. Well, but you said you needed it right now. And I said, well, yeah, I don't need it that bad. But we got everything ordered in. We're having to build it, but got a new video card, latest video card, which without paying an arm and a leg for it. So that was nice. It didn't seem to be what the naysayers were telling me. I've been putting off a new design computer until prices kind of stabilized and stuff, but I might be able to go ahead and swing it now. We can only hope, right? I'm still printing out desert buildings. That's a slow process. All right. Just weird angles. Get at this stuff. And not tear up what I've already done or break something. I'm not the most steady painter anymore either. If I didn't have these lines to paint in on here, I'd be in big trouble with these. Our local radio station, I don't know if others do this or whatever, but I'm sure they do, but they've got a musical version of the March Madness going on right now. It's kind of cool, where they play a band versus a band. They start with their starting list and people vote. Had a couple of matchups today that I didn't agree with, but with the results. Hopefully my computer doesn't end up resetting here in a minute. It's doing an update earlier. I think it's just little stuff that doesn't need a reset. So if I disappear, that's why. All right. The angles that we have to paint big stuff out, right? You're itched. And just for the reminder on here, I will be at AdeptiCon next week, so no show Wednesday night next week, but I'll be back the Wednesday after. And with cameras fixed, we can break out the game board and go from there. I was going to work on the missile pods tonight too, but I didn't have a chance to get them primered before the show. Just working on all the little projects, get everything restocked and ready to go. And obviously this is a little bigger show than sometimes it's like pinning the tail on the donkey here. And when I mess up, I got to clean it up very quickly. Yummy. At least this will be the end of the tight spots. Everything else will be easier to get to after these. The littlest spots. Is it missing parts? Yes. It's got, when I had originally put it together, the rocket ends that I ended up putting in there, I painted red and white, and I really didn't like it. So I did some new ones that I'm going to do green and yellow, but I had to take the old ones out, so I kind of had to pop some of the parts loose to get those out, and I just haven't put them back in yet. When I put all the missiles back together, I'll finish putting it in there. But that's the only thing it's missing are the missile fronts and then a couple of pieces here that came off when I was. Yeah, it's like I said, when I popped that front off, I had a couple other parts come loose. I just haven't glued them back in yet till when I put the missile pods back in. But other than that, that's the only ones missing. Like I said, I did the red and white ones, and I just didn't like how they looked on this particular ship. I think the colors were just too bright for the way it's colored. But I think the green and yellow will look a lot better. More military. When I was a kid, they had these big old tall action figure toys that were Shogun warriors. And they could shoot missiles out of their hands and off their legs and stuff like that, which they were a little spring loaded. The one I had them in the hand. You had like 3 or 4, you could push the button and but they were red and white. So I've always got this red and white missile look in my head. Those things are probably worth $1 million. And there's no telling where mine ended up. Showing my age, when I grew up, G.I. Joe was like 12-inch tall figures. So, this kind of got glued together really quick, so it's got some spots that really need to be yeah. Yeah, there was only like 3 or 4 figures, and but they came with all these accessories that you could put on them. They had all kinds of different weapons and little medic bags, and God, there was crap loads of stuff. And you could buy. I didn't have it. I had a friend that had it, like a Foot Locker, that stuff could all go into. I think the first little of the figures that I had, I think even before Star Wars figures. Yeah. There was Micronauts, which was a comic book series. I think those were the first small action figures I ever had. Hi, Tiger Wraith. How are you doing? Just taking it one day at a time. Well, that's pretty much how all of us go. Hopefully we won't all disappear in a blaze of nuclear glory. Anytime soon. Again, showing my age, when I was a kid, besides fire and tornado drills, we had nuclear attack drills. It made us get under our desk. I'm not sure what good that would have done for us, but when I was in the Army, I was in artillery, and we trained to shoot a nuclear shell out of one of our howitzers. I'm like, yeah, we get right on that one. It was kind of you backed the Jeep up to the gun and pulled the lanyard, and somebody else drove, and off you went. Oh, cool. we're almost finally done with these little peckers. All right. All right. Now we'll work here on the back a little bit here in the engine compartment where I don't want there to be still debating on how I'm gonna do the engine nozzles. Obviously, it would look cooler having some kind of a blue or orange where it looks like that they were going, but when this gets used on the game board, the ship's going to be landed. So, not sure if that would look funny or not. Or I may just be overthinking it. Which is a big possibility. I don't worry about being too in the lines here. I'll paint over a lot of that with silver and stuff when I finish trimming it out. So it kind of filled in there. To the other side. Make sure if you have any questions or anything, just shoot. I'm paying attention. Glad to answer them or talk about something that you want me to talk about. How's the new dual cast process going? Well, slow. Our machine sprung a leak. So I'm waiting for parts. I'm actually probably going to run down this weekend down to Reaper to get some production done. So we pretty much sold out of all the dual casts that we have at the time. And with the show next week, I'd like to have as much of it there as I can. So just par for the course. But on the good side of things, the company that is running the new Starhawk 7 master for me actually sent me some progress pictures today. So they are finally getting caught up, and they had another round of COVID go through, I guess. But he promised me he would have them ready next week, so we'll see. All right, I think that gets all the back painted in where I need it to be. All right, that may be getting close. Yeah, they're overseas. So maybe had another batch kind of show up, but I think everybody's just kind of, it is what it is at this point. All right, I don't think there's anything else that I need to paint with black ink right now. I don't think so. got on there tight. All right. So let that all dry up and then I think we're going to, while we're sitting here, I'm going to paint on one of my little shanty buildings that I've been working on. Between that and all the desert buildings, little buildings everywhere. But this one's got I had to get the silver on it first because I've got that dirt material that I got that I'm going to put in the bottom of this thing. And all right, so I'm going to get all that put on here. This is the one that my water tank is going to go on top of, like so. My goal for all these boards is for CAVCon on Labor Day. I'd like to have all these all set up and we're going to tentatively, I'm looking at doing another virtual show in June, which we'll have some more to talk about that as we get a little closer. But we're trying to come up with some new events for it. Kind of things we learned from the last one. The little agitators getting up into the bottle, keeping the paint from coming out. I don't know who primered this thing, but they sure didn't do a very good job. Oh well. At least silver is pretty good about covering stuff up anyway. All right, let's get a little more silver here. Hi there, sir. How you doing? Kind of working on stuff, talking a little bit about the show next week up in Chicago for AdeptiCon. There will not be a stream next week. I am still down a camera, so I'm kind of just winging it tonight. But we should have everything in Friday to get that back all up and going, so we should be good to go. There won't be a show next week because I'll be at AdeptiCon, but after that should be back on track. So I just got done putting the last of the black ink stuff on my drop ship, and so I'm kind of letting that dry. And I'm working on one of my shanty buildings. Yeah, no, I'm going to get plenty of pictures. There are always some really great boards and stuff there, so I always try to get good shots of all those. And all right. Silver, silver everywhere. Oh, goodness. Amazing how fast you go through paint. Well, like I said, I'm hoping for good weather. I've been afraid to look, see what the weather's going to be like up there next week. We've gone up there before, and the weather's been pretty mild, and it wasn't so bad. And then we've been up there before, and it was snowing, and we weren't sure we were going to be able to leave. So that's always kind of a crapshoot. I think my agitator is getting into the nose of the bottle. No, not really. We're just getting a lot of stuff that we've been putting out. But we'll have the horses and the ammets and the longbow, the gast. What else? I was talking about with Hugh right before you got in there, we're having some problems with the casting machine, so we're waiting for some parts that should arrive next week. And when we get back, we should have some new stuff to. Well, tin's been going up for a long time, but it's just the nature of the beast. Tin is used to make galvanized steel. That's always a big pusher. And like I said, tin is kind of referred to as the poor man's gold. So it's been the victim of speculation and stuff here for several years. And there's hardly no tin mines out there. That doesn't help. Yeah. It's the nature of the beast. It's across the board with stuff. Of course, they use it in soldering and all kinds of stuff. It's just more of I went and bought a couple of sheets of masonite the other night for a project here. And I can remember not very long ago paying like $8 a sheet for that stuff. And it was $25. I would say that metal miniatures are on the way being done. I'm sure that companies that are still doing metal don't want to say it, but I can promise you they're already planning for it. All right, finally got this one all silvered up. All right, that one that'll work. Well, I certainly hope if you are in the Chicago area next week and are going to be attending AdeptiCon, that we get a chance to see you there. We will be at the very front of the hall, so you can't miss us. We're helping run the paint and take event as well, so which is right at the very front doors as you come in at the vendor room. All right. Well, it looks like we're down to the last 5 minutes of the night. Anything else that anybody would like me to cover before we run out of time tonight? Well, now I got all the little black ink washes and stuff on this thing, so that'll help me get in, not having to be anymore where the spots are so tight that I can't get to. Next convention after AdeptiCon is Little Wars, back up in the Chicago area. AdeptiCon is there at Schwamberg or whatever it is, and then, which is kind of to the southwest of Chicago, and then the other one's at Little or Light or something like that. That's further east. I think we have Little Wars, and then we have Border Wars in Kansas City in May. June, we have Origins, and probably we'll be doing a virtual show. Or is that in July? Let's see here Your sound is very up and down. Well, it's probably because I'm talking up and down. Let's see here. All right, so we have AdeptiCon and then Little Wars, then Border Wars, which is May 20th and 22nd in Kansas City. Then we have Origins, June 8th and 12th in Columbus, Ohio. Virtual CAVCons in July. We're still working on setting that up. We also have Twisted Lords Con down in Oklahoma City, July 22nd through the 24th. NashCon, hopefully in August. I haven't heard anything back from the organizers yet, so I'm not sure where we're at on that. ReaperCon, September 1st through the 4th down in Denton. October, we've got some stuff coming up for there. I just haven't made the announcement for it yet. November is Millennium Con down in Round Rock, Texas. So we are good to go. All right, so that's the convention schedule. Like I said, that's what I was reading from, is the calendar that I put up on the forums. We won't have a show next week because I'll be at the show. We'll be back the week after. We should have all of our camera issues straightened up, and should have and then that way we can set up the game board and start doing some stuff there with that too. What else? I think that's pretty much the tip of the spear there. Then hopefully we'll have the shanty town kind of straightened out in the desert town. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do the road system on the desert town. I haven't made up my mind yet. I don't know if I guess, I looked at some pictures of modern desert towns and stuff like that, and they have asphalt streets, roads. So I'll probably go with those. And totally made up my mind. The shanty town's going to have more dirt roads kind of pass between it. So anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, sports fans. Thanks for stopping by. And I'll be back in 2 weeks. Well, that's right. I quit making the baseboards. I use mats now for everything, and then make everything modular that can sit on it. That way I can move it around. I'm not real wild about it. You see a lot more where the lines are and stuff like that, but it is what it is. I will, like I said, we'll be putting some pictures up as we get closer, ready to go, and the trip, and once we get up there, we'll get some stuff posted on the boards, and maybe try to do a live stream from the booth off Facebook or something like that. So anyway, thanks for being here. Thanks for your support, and I will talk to you guys later. Good night.